Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us, Facebook friends. I'm Carolyn Long, here tonight on a very special mission to introduce you to the one, the only Santa Claus, the real deal Santa Claus, directly here in Kansas City from the North Pole. Welcome, Santa.
Well, thank you. It's so good to be here.
What are you doing in Kansas City? I know we only have you for 1 hour, but what brings you here?
Barbecue, what else?
Okay, I like that.
And, to stop in and check on children. And, well, I just couldn't believe that there were that many names on the naughty list that actually work right here.
Oh, is that right? Is there still time to, turn that around?
There's still time to turn that around. And I know for the few I've talked with that they're definitely working on it.
I know I'm working on it every day, that is for sure. And that naughty nice list seems to be the hottest topic of all. Kids at home right now, if you have a question for Santa, you maybe want to put in a special request to Santa, now is your chance for the next hour. Joining me here on Facebook Live, you can type in your comments, and I'm going to read as many as I can and ask questions to Santa as you bring them to me. So I'm doing my best. I know many of you already saying that you want to know about this naughty nice list and maybe where you stand at home. So Santa, did you bring the list with you?
Well, I brought a portion of the list with me.
Okay.
This is not all of the naughty nice.
I'm sure that's quite large.
This is just kind of a few hours worth of elf reports.
Well, I know I want to get really specific here and talk about, real details that not many of us get to hear from you this often. So can you read me a few names? Can you give me some ideas of what you see in that book?
Well, there's Kennedy, who has a birthday tomorrow, wants Polly Pockets. Excellent choice. Lucas, also on the nice list, wants a lollipop, a giant one. I'm envisioning one of those that has the rainbow swirl in it.
Oh,
we'll see what we can do on that one.
Okay.
With the elves around, candy canes and lollipops in the sleigh don't always last as long as they should.
Okay, we want to know more about the big night you have coming up next week and all the details surrounding it. But I'm going to get to some questions because we have some great ones coming in. Taylor Grace wants to know how Rudolph got his nose so bright.
Well, now that's kind of a story in itself because most reindeer have a black nose. It's a typical thing, but oddly enough, Rudolph is the only one that actually has a red nose. It's not a light bulb, it's just a very red nose, not unlike Santa's. And Rudolph also has an excellent sense of direction. He could even close his eyes and take us anywhere we wanted to go.
Okay. Well, that's
very talented.
Very, very talented, very helpful. Angela is writing in here, what is your favorite cookie? Of course, every Christmas Eve, we set a plate of cookies out for you. But, we want to give you what you want, what you like. So give us some ideas here, what your all-time favorite cookie really is.
Ooh, Angela, this is one of my favorite points here is cookies. I have two categories. There's round cookies, and then there's shapes, like Christmas trees, snowmen, candy canes. I think probably round cookies really are, well, I like all the cookies. Round cookies, you can put so many things into a round cookie.
Okay, so it's almost more about the shape.
Exactly.
For you. Okay.
I love shapes.
All right, I like your style. Okay.
And probably round is my most popular shape.
Okay, very good. Bear Lucas wants to know, how is Mrs. Claus?
Oh, she's fine. She's fine. She's working with the elves at the North Pole. They make cookies, candy canes, Snacks, always good.
Okay. Well, that brings me to, we are getting so many questions in here so fast. It is hard to keep up. And I know many are asking some of the same questions. So if you're hearing one, I want you to know that Erica Krieger wants to know what presents you are giving her. I don't think we can give that away, Erica.
Oh,
that's not
no,
allowed here.
That's a secret. That actually is a secret. And sometimes even Santa doesn't know until the elf puts it in my hand and I run down the chimney with it. Okay. So we try to keep that. If I told you now, we want to see the surprise on your face. That's the joy of Christmas morning.
That is the joy of Christmas morning, and the joy I'm having right here just reading all of these fun wishes coming into us on Facebook. Okay, Braylon would like an iPhone, please. I'm just going to put that out there. Vlad wants to know if he's on the naughty or nice list. Can you look that one up, Vlad?
Oh, Vlad. That would be VLMNO. Well, of course you're on the nice list. All children have good in their hearts, and they try to be good all the time. So you just continue to be good for me.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get some insight here. Caden here, 5 years old, wants to know if he can come to the North Pole and see you.
Oh, well, there really are no connections to the North Pole other than through reindeer. And unless you have a reindeer that flies, why, I'm pretty sure I have all the reindeer that actually fly. The others are just reindeer. So visiting the North Pole is really kind of an out of the question thing. That's why I bring the toys from the North Pole to you.
That's why it happens. Kendall Runner has a good one here. Oh, and I just lost it. It's kind of clicking around here on me. But we have lots of questions coming. Oh, Kendall wanted to know, basically, we were talking about leaving you some cookies. Can you talk about what else you might like with that? Do you like some milk with it? Do you like hot chocolate?
Ooh, yes.
Do you like a drink to go with your evening?
Well, that is nice. And, I realized that putting out hot chocolate when you go to bed, it's by the time, depending on when I get to your house, why, it may not be hot chocolate anymore. It's just chocolate. Milk is always good. Sometimes even water is refreshing, but milk goes great with cookies. So let's keep that tradition going.
Okay. And then so many people very concerned about your reindeer and how they do that night. And should we also leave a treat or something for them as well? And if so, what do you suggest? Do they like the carrots? Do they like apples? Do they like cookies?
Well, their usual diet at home is hay and oats. So carrots are a treat to them. Apples, an even sweeter treat. They don't like bananas. Mangoes, no. Carrots and apples are really the key for them. They really find those to be sweet treats.
Okay. All right, very good. Karen here has a good one. Do the elves get presents?
Well, the elves, we do have a celebration on Christmas Day where we hug each other, we cheer each other for the job well done and the night's accomplishments, and pretty much the elves really like candy canes. So they look on candy canes as a treat and a gift year-round, really.
So speaking of the elves, Jennifer here wants to know, how many toys do those elves make each year? I can't even imagine. I mean, you deliver all around the world.
That's the truth. That is true. There are, gosh, I really couldn't even come up with a number of how many elves. If you combined UPS, FedEx, and any other delivery service you can imagine, why, Amazon, there are tens of millions of gifts that we deliver every Christmas Eve. And that in itself is quite a staged achievement because we have so little time to do it in.
And Christy wants to know, I mean, she's thrilled clearly that we are seeing you here in Kansas City. She wants to know, are the reindeer here too? Did you come with them?
Well, see, that's always the trick question, because it would be so grand to have a sleigh and reindeer parked just outside, and my fear generally is that you would rather be seeing that reindeer and patting that reindeer rather than talking with old Santa. So the reindeer drop me off. It'll be like a small training sleigh and one new reindeer that will bring Santa, and an elf comes with me, and they drop me off and they head back, and then I get on the candy cane phone and give them a jingle when I'm ready to leave, and they pop right back.
All right, I'm going to have you add a few toys to your list since you have it handy. Leah wants the Gotta Go Flamingo, if you could add that in, and 5-year-old Felicity wants a scooter. So you add those there to your list while you have it handy there. And Allison is awfully sweet. Allison wants to know what you want for Christmas.
Well, see, that's a good question, because you give me that every year by being good for your parents and helping out where you can. Christmas is a time of sharing and helping each other, so that's what I want for Christmas. I want you to help Mom and Dad. I want you to pick up your toys, especially on Christmas Eve, so I don't trip over them when I come to bring you presents. Now, if you keep them picked up year-round, why, that's even better. So I want all children to be happy, and I want them to enjoy the toys and games and puzzles and clothes and things that I bring them on Christmas Eve.
All right. Hey, Reese would like to be noted that she would like a sled. Reese would like a sled. Glenn would like a truck. So if you could add those to your list, we have some lists coming in handy. And I know it's been kind of hard for you to see the children this year like you normally do. You're used to having the kids sit on your lap and go through their list right there with you. So we're doing it in any way we can this year. How have you been in the last couple of months in this pandemic, Santa?
Well, it's been very challenging. The few children that I do see are socially distanced or wearing masks. It is good to see children. It's good to hear from children year-round, because Christmas Eve, when I come, it's kind of an automatic social distance thing, because you're asleep and I'm in the other room putting out presents for you. So it's always good to hear from children and see children. I do miss that hug that you give to Santa, or that Santa can give you a hug. I really miss that. So next year, we're going to work on that part.
Oh, yes. Could you work on that? That's probably all of our biggest wish, is that we don't have to mess with this next year anyway. So hopefully that will be gone by next year. Sydney, while we're at it, I have a list running here. Sydney would like an LOL surprise, and Addison would like a water bottle. And speaking of how you get those toys to us in our respective homes around Kansas City, here's a problem. Not every home in Kansas City has a chimney. So we have been asked by Rebecca, they have a magic key, and they're wondering if that is good, because they don't have a chimney, but they do have a magic key. Oh, and you do too, it seems.
I do too. If you have a magic key, I'll use that one. Or if you don't, those that don't have chimneys, like apartment buildings don't always have chimneys, but Santa still visits. So I have the magic keys that will get me through the door. Got to get those presents to the good children.
Yes, absolutely. And with whatever thing it takes. Oh my goodness, your wish lists are coming in. They're scrolling it as fast as we can. And I promise you, I know we only have 1 hour here with Mr. Claus, but I promise you I will print this off for him and we'll make sure that he has all of your wishes in his list before he leaves Kansas City. I promise you that. Skylar Marie, I know, would like a fish, so you can add a fish to that one. Leah and Gavin would like to know, Santa, if you got their letters.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I did get your letters, and I do appreciate that. Those that have sent millions of letters to the North Pole, to Santa Claus, why, we read every one. And we try to find the best present we can that we can bring you from that list and from those notes. It's always good to hear what you've been doing. I have one here that, upside down list, that Jasmine loves stuffed animals. Stuffed ones are her favorite toys. Also Smurfs. She likes Smurfs. It's always good to hear what you children like and what we can do to make those wishes come true.
All right, let's talk about a few other things. You know, I am a journalist, so I actually have a lot of kind of hard-hitting questions, quite frankly. It's always seemed sort of bewildering to me how in the world, on one night, in one day a year, you can make it around the world, just you alone, and the reindeer, of course. But how is it that you do that?
It's a matter of strategic packaging.
Okay.
We put bags of toys in strategic places. So I start off as soon as I leave the North Pole, I have one sleigh with 8 tiny reindeer and a huge bag of toys, but another elf will leave in a smaller sleigh with a smaller bag of toys, and he'll be staged somewhere, say, over North Africa or Europe. And as I finish in one place, I pick up another bag of toys, and it just keeps going and going. And so staging and distribution is the key.
Oh, man, that takes a lot of coordination.
Well, we have thousands of elves that help me with that.
I was just going to ask you, how many elves do you have then?
Oh my goodness, there must be slightly over 10,000 elves that make all of the toys and candy canes and wrap all of the packages and pack all of the packages into Santa's sleigh. There's so many levels of elf duties that they're very, very busy for, so many hours a day.
And then once you're out on the road and you're hitting your route on Christmas Eve night, Amelia would like to know, how fast does that sleigh go?
Ooh, well, it can go almost as fast as the speed of light.
Oh.
It's very quick.
Mm-hmm. That's why you can do it all in one night then. That makes perfect sense.
Well, you have reindeer with names like Comet and Dasher. Why, they'll pull you along as quick as a wink.
My gosh, these wish lists are coming in so rapidly. I'm going to read off a few more here. Leah would like a karaoke microphone.
Oh.
Glenn would like a truck. Micah would like a dinosaur and a racetrack. Ezra, a crocodile. Justin, a fire truck. And then Sloan actually has an interesting wish. I wanted to know your thoughts on this. Sloan says, could you maybe invent a treatinator so that you could provide endless treats? Wouldn't that be something?
Oh my, that would be something indeed. Well, I'll suggest that to the elves and see what they can design.
So tell me how the year works with those elves when they get ideas like that, great ideas. Do they then start on that maybe on the 26th, 27th, or what do you do after Christmas Day?
Well, see, after Christmas, in spring, after we've all caught our breath from a very busy night, we do start on new ideas. We look over the lists and just like that one and find things that may be of interest that could be fun to bring into production and put out in distribution to children around the world. I think many children would love to have something like that.
Wouldn't that be something? Yeah. Nora wants to know, why is your hat red?
Well, so I know that I'm wearing the red suit.
So it's got to match.
Red hat, red suit, try to make it go together. I do have a green hat, but I don't have a green suit.
I like you in red. I think it's your best color for certain.
Well, and it's a very popular color here in Kansas City, I understand.
It is. It's our crowd favorite here lately, for sure. And it has been for a long time. I hope our Kansas City Chiefs are on that nice list.
Of course they are. They're doing such a marvelous job, and they do so many good things for the community.
They do.
It's so good to hear that.
They do. All right, another topic here. We've seen this elf on the shelf, and I know many of you at home have one of these elves on the shelves that kind of moves around on occasion. Elena and Shay, their elf is named Joy, as I know you understand. Do you know Joy, and do you know these elves on the shelves, and are they helpful? Do you like this, or do the elves like these little things?
Well, the elf on a shelf, they're such interesting little creatures. And they are particularly pesky this year because, well, we're not having them travel back to the North Pole like they're used to. So they don't get to have that big party every night as they turn in lists and naughty, nice indicators and how your day has gone. We have a supervisor that will check the neighborhood through the window after everyone's asleep. And so the elf on the shelf is a very helpful creature because they do observe, they do report. Unfortunately, they do get a little cantankerous once in a while and do some very odd things, but they do have good in their hearts too. They like to enjoy Christmas as much as anyone.
Okay, that is good to hear. Okay, we have lots of other questions coming in, like, what is your favorite Christmas song?
Ooh, I think, oh gosh, there are so many good Christmas, White Christmas, who doesn't want White Christmas? Perhaps Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I like that one.
And I like that you came to town. We are so enjoying this. This is amazing. You mentioned White Christmas, so here's the problem. Here in Kansas City, as I know you're watching the weather patterns and such, we are likely not going to have a White Christmas this year. Does that bum you out? A. And B, does it hurt your travels any?
Well, it's the issue with no snow is the landing. And that landing can be pretty harsh on the runners of the sleigh. So we try to make accommodations to almost like putting on non-snow tires onto a sleigh, that we put an overlay on the runners so it can land better on non-snow. Snow is always important when you're trying to land a sleigh, but it's not required.
Okay, good to know, because we're not going to have it. And in fact, I was thinking it might actually help your travels, because at least you can kind of get in and out. Or does it slow you down? Maybe. Well, I was thinking it might speed up your trip.
Like with any pilot, clear air is always what you hope for. So if it's not snowing, whatever is on the ground is fine, really. Some surfaces are just better than others.
Okay, okay, good to know. Trinidad would like to know, do you speak Spanish? Or do you understand it when you hear it? Maybe
Well,
that's a better
there
question.
you go. That's really the key, is the understanding. You know, it's that kind of season. We all want to understand each other. I do understand more Spanish than I can actually speak.
Okay, well, as long as you understand it, then we're good. We are good. Okay, let's talk about the specifics on that sleigh of yours, and talk about, people want to know here, what's the fastest speed you've hit? What's the coldest night you remember? Give us some of the nitty-gritty details on your travels.
Ooh, well, that is kind of the tough part about traveling at Christmas time, is in some parts of the country, some parts of the world, why, obviously more pleasant than others. Higher altitudes are always more tough and generally present more weather issues. So that's when Rudolph is always important, because, like I said, he's our GPS system. He will get us where we need to go. Yes, we try to watch the weather as much as possible, and clear air is always preferable, but we do have accommodation for snow, storms, winds. Perhaps I should check with the weatherman before I go.
I was going to say, we can maybe connect you with somebody who would be very helpful on all of that. And we've become very accustomed in Kansas City to wearing masks and trying to keep everybody safe. Tell us how it is on the North Pole and how it's been here in the last couple of months. Do you wear a mask on the North Pole? Do the elves have to wear a mask while they're making those toys?
Well, again, there is, because they are so socially distanced from the rest of the world, they do not need to wait. They are truly in a bubble, albeit an underground bubble, but they're in a bubble. They're very isolated from the rest of the world. Even when I go back from a visit like this, well, especially right now, I can't spend 10 days in the stable waiting for time to pass to be sure I'm not. So when I go back, I'm isolated from everyone else. I can use the intercom. I can speak to someone across the room, but yes, I wear a mask when I go back to the North Pole, and others that come into contact with me at the North Pole will wear a mask. But when they're just elves themselves in the workshop, why, they're fine.
Now here's a good one for you, Santa. Jacob and Jonah would like to know, how old are you?
Ooh, I think the best line is from Miracle on 34th Street. I'm not as old as the mountains, but I'm older than my teeth.
Okay, we'll take it. And Willow would like for you to say hi to her, and she would like a playhouse, please.
Oh, a playhouse. Oh, very fun. Hi, Willow. Merry Christmas to you.
And Charlotte would like a sewing machine and a guitar. And Nola would like to know, since we keep talking about cookies, and clearly you enjoy your cookies, and how many cookies that you take in on a Christmas Eve night, I can't even imagine. But Nola would like to know, just come to think of it, would you like her to leave you out a toothbrush? Because maybe every now and then you might want to brush with all that sugar going on.
Well, or at least perhaps a string of floss.
Okay.
Sometimes you get a little something stuck in the way back
Maybe a
there.
little chocolate chip or something.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. Chris here would like gummy bears for Christmas.
Oh,
Chris would
I
like
love
gummy bears.
Gummy bears. Oh, that's a good choice.
This is such a joy to have you here with us. I know you came in with your sack full and such, and we were so excited here at Channel 5 to welcome you here. What did you bring with you? I see an interesting little stuffed thing next to you.
Well, this is Bob.
Hi, Bob.
Bob is a stuffed orangutan. He likes to hang around he likes to travel, and he's just kind of a funny little fuzzy creature that the elves like, and thought, well, Bob would like to come with me and say hi to all you kids.
Oh, well, hello, Bob.
Bob just has a funny little face and lots of funny hair. Well, I have a funny little face and lots of hair. Perhaps that's what the elves had in mind. Just never know. It's just so fun.
Now, Aiden wants to know if you got his letter. And speaking of letters, well, first of all, I would like you to make sure that you got Aiden's letter. But secondly, is it too late to send you one at this point? Because finding you and delivering our wish list in person this year especially is somewhat difficult. So is a letter helpful? And if so, how long do we have to still mail that in?
Well, you can still mail letters to Santa. Now, if there are major changes in your list, I can't guarantee that we're going to get any of those changes into Santa's giant bag of toys. We'll definitely see what we can do if there's something that you really want more than what you said last month. That's where the elves really keep good track of that for us too, of things that move up or down a list. So no, always write to Santa. Why, you can write to Santa year-round.
Oh,
I like to hear from children year-round. Don't you like to get mail? Why, Santa loves getting mail. I like to know what you're doing.
Okay. Now, do you take a break at all after all of the excitement on the 24th and the 25th? Do you take a break? Do you and Mrs. Claus, kick back for a little bit?
Oh, we do. Well, in fact, the elves will depart in shifts as well to warmer climates and go to a beach or a forest, or visit a gnome brother in Germany, or a mini hoonie in Hawaii. Why, the little elves are everywhere. So yes, we do like to take some time off and relax and enjoy warmer weather.
Well, don't we all? Doesn't that sound nice? Well, you enjoy your time off once you get there. But in the meantime, we have a busy week ahead and a lot of preparations to do. So I want to make sure you know that Emmy would like a minion and Charlotte a stuffed puppy. Not a real puppy, but a stuffed puppy.
Good
if
choice,
you can handle
Charlotte.
that. And Paisley, a pink microphone. And Mason, I want you to really listen to this one, Santa. Mason just wants you to maybe think about bringing his papa, his meemaw, and his mommy a present this year.
Well, that's excellent. That's excellent. I know that sometimes older children may tend to not really be insistent on receiving anything, but that's a very nice thought. I mean, even just your hopes and wishes for a Merry Christmas for them is sometimes reward enough. Always good to keep grandparents and other relatives in your hearts and in your thoughts at this time of year, especially this year.
Especially
So,
this year.
Definitely.
Boy, that is so true this year, isn't it? That is so nice. If you could, Liam says, if you could just say hi to me, Santa, that would be awesome.
Liam, Merry Christmas. So good to hear from you. You continue to be good for us, all right?
Okay, Piper wants to know if do you have an email address? Is that a way that we can maybe get a hold of you and let you know our wish list this year? Do you do email?
Well, we don't.
No? Okay.
It's a distance thing, weather related. We're right, a lot of magnetism around the North Pole that radio, electronics don't broadcast well at the North Pole. So we don't really have an email that we can accommodate that.
Yeah, the old-fashioned way with the stamp is really the way to go.
It's a lot of fun to do that.
Got to see and feel that letter. I like that. Okay, Ellie Teen says hi. He says he would love a Play-Doh donut maker.
Oh,
And he says please too, I might add.
how fun is that? You get to make something. Well, you can't eat it though, but it's fun to make things. That's exactly the business I've been in all these years, is making things. So that's an excellent thought.
It is an excellent thought. Okay, and Alex would like some Legos. You know, as I'm looking through these toys, what are you seeing as maybe the hot, gifts of the year? What do you see coming up again and again and again in a lot of these children's lists?
Well, Legos is probably the #1 toy in the world, and you can never have too many Legos. You can make anything out of Legos. You can make furniture, you can make a playhouse. They're just an incredible toy. So boy, girl, young, old, they're very fun to play with. That seems to be one of the most popular items between both boys and girls this year.
Sure.
Dinosaurs is the other interesting thing I find has continuing interest of dinosaurs. We need young people to grow up to go out there and find new old dinosaurs.
Right. It's a saga continues. Hey, Piper and Paxton want to know if you only deliver toys, or can you deliver puppies too?
Well, see, puppies is something that a family really needs to agree on. Santa can bring just lots of beds and toys and playthings, leashes, collars for puppies, but live animals in Santa's sleigh, well, the elves can get kind of upset from time to time having to clean out the sleigh after a trip. We can bring live animals, but we would really like to be absolutely certain that it's a family request, not just you want a puppy. Does mom and dad want a puppy too?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Always a good thought to think of others in decisions like that.
Okay, now I hate to bring this up because I know we've talked a lot about the cookies and the treats and the fun of it all. But Riley wants to know, how many sit-ups can you do?
Well, I sit up every morning as I get out of bed.
I don't think she's talking about sitting up out of bed, Santa. I think she's saying sit-ups, like ab work.
Oh.
Oh.
You've been talking to Mrs. Claus, haven't you? Yes. Well, there are a few I can do. It's just I was never a Marine, so I can't do hundreds of them, but I can do a few. Although I'm not going to show you right now.
I was just going to ask, how did you know that's what I was just going to ask you? Okay, now you brought up Mrs. Claus and how she tries to keep you on the straight and narrow. Allison says, how did you meet Mrs. Claus?
Well, that's a very odd, long story. It was one of those vacations that we take after Christmas when, you go someplace warm and, well, I just happened to meet this woman that, long story short, became Mrs. Claus. And we have 10,000 elves that we consider children, hundreds of reindeer that we also consider children, the fuzzy children. So we've been together many, many, many years.
How long?
Well, that's a very good question.
Many moons, huh?
Not as long as the mountains, but been a long time. Gosh, we may even have an anniversary coming up. I'll have to check on that.
I know. I know she would know the date, but I understand. Santiago is 3. Santiago plans to catch you at some point and give you a full-on hug in person. And in the same household, it seems that Moises is 6 and wants to know if you got the letter. But this brings up a good point. Santiago brings up a great point here. Of course, many of us would love to catch you coming down the chimney or using your magic key, bringing in those toys. Can we ever do it? I never could secure a vision on you during that Christmas Eve night. I never could do it.
Well, see, in the very early years, that might have been possible, but now I have elves that travel with me that can sneak down the chimney and hide in a corner and make sure it's all clear, and then pop, I'm in and out. So we've really perfected that to make sure that you're asleep. Be sure no one's watching. We may meet a pet, cat, dog, gerbil. We may meet a pet, but they don't give away secrets like one might fear they might.
Okay. All right, good to know. It's not worth trying. Just go to bed. Just get some good sleep that night. Now, Jonathan, apparently, we're hearing from Jonathan. He didn't get to see you this year, and he's quite upset about it. And I bet many kids are saying that this year. It just doesn't seem the same without seeing you in person. We're hoping this helps, and we thank you for coming here and offering this because it is the next best thing. But many kids this year just didn't get to see you, and it doesn't feel the same. So can you help us feel a little better about that?
Well, and part of that, and I miss that too, because the biggest part of that I miss is the hug that we share when we do meet each other. So if you have a chance, turn to someone in the room with you and give them a hug and say, "This is for Santa," and have them give you a hug back. That would be a good way to share the holiday.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Spread the love as best you can. Okay, our friends Mia and Reese would like a special Santa hello, if you could, and a Merry Christmas.
Well, children, Reese, Mira, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. It's so good to hear from you. Thank you for sending this message to me. I want you to have a very Merry Christmas and a very happy holiday. So thank you for that.
Merry Christmas to Mia and Reese. Mia Rose would like a dollhouse, Lindsay a loft bed, Victoria a stuffed kitten, and Liam doesn't want just any Hot Wheels, Santa, some awesome Hot Wheels, if you could.
Oh, I love Hot Wheels. They can go so fast and so far. And another one of those things, I don't know if you can have too many of those. There's just so many different ones.
Okay, now some interesting questions coming in here. What do you say to folks who start to not believe in you and the magic from the North Pole? What do you say to these people who just don't get it?
Well, and see, what is Christmas about? Christmas is not about a man in a red suit. Christmas is about sharing the holiday with others, about sharing your concern and care for each other. I think that's why I miss the hug so much, is that's part of the holiday. To give of yourself, of your time, of even just saying hi to someone, we just have really kind of missed some of that. So Christmas is really about helping each other, caring for each other, and helping out wherever you can. Giving of yourself, of your time. Please do that.
Yeah, this year of all years. Elizabeth would like a baby doll bed. Jennifer, a magic 8-ball. Those are some classic. The elves make those every year, don't they?
Oh, I love those. They're still fun.
Still fun. Yes, absolutely. And how about the Christmas movies? We know that you're awfully busy and you probably don't have a whole lot of downtime, but we have some Facebook friends here asking, what is your favorite Christmas movie, or do you pick a favorite?
Well, there are so many good Christmas movies. I mean, the old one, Miracle on 34th Street, one of my running favorites. White Christmas, Holiday Inn. There are just so many good movies. And not just the older movies, many of the new ones are such fun. I think Elf is.
Oh,
Mrs.
fabulous.
Claus and I laugh at that all the time. It's just very fun and has a good message too.
Oh no, that's a very, very fun one. Okay, we have lots of messages coming in. Oh, there are so many messages. A lot of them asking about your favorite things like that. So your favorite movie, your favorite song, your favorite cookie. Everyone seems to want to really know those things about you. How about the meal that you eat before the big night, before the big trip? What do you eat? A good hearty meal, or do you keep it light?
Well, I try to keep it light because I know, and don't tell Mrs. Claus this, that I'm going to fill up on cookies. So I try to eat very light before I head out.
Okay.
A glass of milk is very refreshing and very filling, and vitamins, minerals, that sort of thing. Good to head out on. Perhaps a small sandwich. But I know I'm going to fill up on cookies. I just love it. Good question, though.
Ryder would like for you to have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you, Ryder. Very good. Well, it's going to be a very good Christmas for all of you. Almost like we started Christmas early this year, just to reach these moments. So, Merry Christmas.
True believers are writing in here. Honestly, true believers who truly love Santa and the miracle of it all. We're hearing from just numerous messages coming in here. It's just so enlightening to see. How is it that you have stayed healthy this year and just every year? How do you keep healthy?
Well, the reindeer will share their carrots with me. Always good. Apples, always good. Exercise, fresh air. Keeping busy, that's really kind of part of it. There's always something to do at the North Pole, so we're always busy, always walking here and there from one workshop to another. I do try to avoid the Nerf gun workshop.
Does it get awfully combative?
Well, there's two words I hear as soon as I walk in the door. Someone will yell, Santa, and someone else will yell, Target.
Oh.
And suddenly I'm pelted with as many Nerf darts as they can load up.
Ugh.
I know it's all in good fun, but it's just a place I kind of try to avoid. I think they do that on purpose sometimes.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, you got to have a little fun sometimes like that. You got to play with the toys to make sure they're still a good toy.
That's the magic of Christmas. There's so many fun toys, almost too many fun toys.
Yeah. I know you brought a few books with you. They're next to you. Would you like to share a story maybe with the kids that are watching here on Facebook Live?
Well, we can certainly do that. I kind of like these books. This is The Night Before Christmas. Of course, the old Clement Morris story, but this is a pop-up book by Robert Sabuda, which is very fun indeed. And it starts off, "'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. It's very, very fun. And Mamma in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our heads for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. As dry leaves before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky, so up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word and went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying a finger aside of his nose and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down off a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, as he rode out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night." A very fun story.
Oh, very nice. And perfectly told as only you can tell.
Thank you.
We have a few more minutes with you here, I know, before you take flight out of Kansas City. So we do have a few more messages I wanted to get in here in these last couple of minutes. Some people just saying they just want to send you their love. They have just enjoyed this evening with you. Carla and Dylan and Talon and Grayson and Luella all sending their love to you. Leah would like to make sure you know that she would like a Barbie house. Mia would like a loft bed. And Leslie, not just Legos, but please Harry Potter Legos,
Ooh.
if at all possible. Ivaline, she would like to know, rather desperately actually, Ivaline has gone in all caps now, all of a sudden saying, please, I need to know, naughty or nice list, where am I?
Well, you're on the nice list. I know we're continuing to work on that. It's just not that many more days until Christmas Eve. And, well, of course, we try to work on this year-round, correct?
That's right, because Megan here is asking for Devlin, does anybody really get lumps of coal? Do you really ever just leave that?
Well, rarely. That's really kind of an old-fashioned sort of thing. And in years gone by, why there have been a very select few that have been more than deserving of lumps of coal. Of course, back in the 70s, when there was the energy crisis, people wanted coal to stay warm.
So it was a gift.
It
somewhat.
was a gift, so it
At
really
a
kind
certain
of turned
time.
it into a good thing, not really a bad thing.
Joseph would like a Nerf gun pistol. I think maybe heard some of your remarks about playing with the Nerf guns there at the North Pole. Jessica, many people asking, how many cookies do you want at each home? I wouldn't think you'd need too many, right? One or two?
One or two is
Okay.
more than enough.
Okay.
And, you know, there is always an elf that travels with me. So I do share. So one for me, one for the elf is always a good thing.
Okay, and Jessica wants to know if leaving chocolate milk is maybe a nice touch with the cookies.
That's an excellent thought. I love chocolate milk. Very good idea.
Okay, and as you prepare for this flight, we're going to get in one last question here. I know many of you have asked your questions, and again, I promise to print these off and make sure Santa has them and has your wish list for sure in his book here before he leaves Kansas City. But Remy would like to know some specifics about your travels, specifically if you've ever fallen off of a roof.
Ooh, that's a very good question. There have been some very tricky roofs that we have encountered over the years. Not actually, you know, I've slid and fell down while I'm on the roof. Kind of a human thing. But I haven't actually fallen from a roof to the ground yet. Knock on wood.
Okay, we're going to start knocking right here. Hey, Freya, by the way, is at home watching on Mom's phone, and Freya apparently just kissed the phone and wanted to make sure you felt it here in Kansas City.
Oh, very good.
Very sweet. And Santa, we want to leave you with the last word here. I think I can sum up all of the messages that have come in from our Facebook friends saying that basically this year, 2020 has been a different one, and we sure do miss seeing you as we're used to seeing you all over town. We miss you, Santa, but we thank you for this visit that you've brought here to Kansas City. If you'd like to leave a message here for those watching.
Well, as I said, it's the time of year to help each other and care for each other. Santa has you in his heart and will always keep you there no matter how old you get. Santa always needs to find the child within everyone. And I know it lives there year-round. We just bring it out once a year to remind ourselves that Christmas is for everyone and a time to share. So thank you for this time, and thank you for sharing your time with me and Carolyn. It's been grand.
I get to do a lot of interviews in my normal daily life, and this has got to be one of the most pleasurable hours I have spent. Santa, thank you for coming here and making this special visit from the North Pole here to Kansas City. We sure are appreciative of it. And we wish you safe travels back now to the North Pole. We know you have a very, very busy week ahead. And please pass along our best wishes to Mrs. Claus, all of the elves, and all of your helpers there at the North Pole. And may you have the best of travels next week.
Thank you so very much. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Thank you all for watching.